Once, in a quiet village nestled between tall mountains, there lived a man named Elias. He was not like the others in the village. While most people spent their days talking, laughing, and working together, Elias often wandered alone. He walked the forest paths, sat by the river, and climbed the hills, always by himself. The villagers thought this was strange. They whispered about him, wondering why he chose to be alone so much. But Elias paid no attention to their words. He had discovered something they had not: the strength that comes from solitude. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the mountains, an old traveler came to the village. He was tired and asked for a place to rest. The villagers, busy with their own lives, turned him away. But Elias, sitting alone under a great oak tree, saw the old man and invited him to his small cottage. He shared his food and his fire, and the two sat in silence for a long time. Finally, the traveler spoke. "Why do you live this way?" he asked. "The others say you are lonely, but you do not seem unhappy." Elias smiled. "Loneliness and solitude are not the same," he said. "Loneliness is when you feel empty because you are without others. Solitude is when you are alone, but you are full of thoughts, full of peace. I do not run from people, but I do not need them to fill my time. In silence, I find answers. In stillness, I find strength." The traveler nodded slowly. "I have walked many roads," he said, "and I have met many people who fear being alone. They surround themselves with noise, with friends, with work, because quiet frightens them. But you have learned to sit with yourself. That is a rare skill." Elias poured more tea and stared into the fire. "It was not always this way," he admitted. "When I was younger, I too feared silence. I thought if no one was around, I was nothing. But one winter, a great storm came. The snow was so heavy that the village was cut off for weeks. No one could visit. No voices filled the air. At first, I was afraid. The quiet felt like a weight. At last, I began to listen. Not to..." The traveler leaned forward. "And what did you find?" "I found that I was enough," Elias said. "That my thoughts had value even if no one heard them. That my own company was not something to escape, but something to understand. The storm passed, but I did not forget that lesson. Now, when I walk alone, I do not feel whole. I feel whole." The old man sighed. "I wish more people understood this. The world is loud, and many believe that strength comes from others, from crowds, from voices, from approval. But true strength comes from within. A tree does not grow strong because it is surrounded by other trees. It grows strong because its roots dig deep into the earth, because it stands firm in the wind and rain. A person is the same. If..." Elias nodded. "It is not easy. At first, solitude feels like a mirror showing you things you might not want to see, your fears, your doubts, your regrets. But if you do not turn away, if you sit with them, you learn. You see that you can face them, and in facing them, you become stronger." The traveler stayed the night, and in the morning he prepared to leave. Before he walked away, he turned to Elias. "Thank you," he said. "You have reminded me of something I once knew but had forgotten. Not all wisdom comes from books or teachers. Some of it comes from silence." Elias watched him go, then turned back to his quiet cottage. He did not need words to feel the truth of what had passed between them. In solitude he had found a strength that no crowd could give him, a strength that came not from being seen, but from seeing himself. Days turned into years, and the village changed. People came and went, but Elias remained. Some still called him strange, but others began to notice something: the way he moved through life with calm, the way storms did not shake him, the way he listened more than he spoke. And slowly, a few began to wonder if there was something to his way of living. One day, a young woman named Livia came to his door. She was restless, always searching for something she could not name. "Teach me," she said. "Teach me how to be alone without being lonely." And so Elias did. He taught her to walk in the woods without rushing, to sit by the river without speaking, to watch the stars without distraction. He did not give her answers. He showed her how to find them herself. In time, Livia understood. She saw that solitude was not a prison, but a door to a quiet kind of power. And like Elias, she learned that the strongest voices are often the ones we hear only when the world is still. The village never changed entirely. Most people still feared silence, still ran from solitude. But for those who paused, who listened, there was a lesson in the life of Elias. That strength does not always come from the outside. Sometimes it grows in the quiet spaces within. And in those spaces, if we are brave enough to enter them, we find not emptiness, but ourselves.